The theme for this year's CodeJam was "It's not a bug, it's a feature." We interpreted the theme pretty straightforward, where a feature can be easily misinterpreted as a mistake or a bug. With our project, it easily satisfies that theme in our chat room app. The unique aspect about our project involves the way messages are received. When a user sends a message, that message will be altered to be scrambled, but still be readable. This is called typoglycemia, where a word is scrambled but leaves the first and last letter of that word unscrambled. Let us demonstrate our project in action.
Onto the backend side of things. We made this messaging app using the framework Fast API. It's a powerful framework made to make web apps. Let's say our user named Foo wants to join a room. We'll call it Cool. That's our room ID. And Foo wants to join a room ID by the name or by the ID of Cool. So the server is sent a JSON payload by our user Foo. And this JSON payload would contain the following details. The type of payload, which is room join. Since it's a room join payload, it would contain a room ID, and it would contain the user's name and the user's ID. All of this is sent to the server checks it, sees it's a room join. It will take the room ID and check to see if a room already exists by that room ID. In this case, there was not. This is a brand new room ID created by this user. So it makes a new room by the room ID, which is cool, and then it sends the user who just joined a JSON payload back called room join success, meaning successfully joined the room. Here's the room ID you joined, this is your name, and here are a list of users in the room with you. As you know, since this is a brand new room, there are no users besides the currently joined user. Now let's say we have Foo's friend Bar, he wants to join. So he types in the room ID cool and hits join, and then he joins the room. Now what happens is that the same payload is sent to Bar with the room join success, the room ID, the list of users, but Foo also receives a payload. And this payload would be called the user join. And the user who joined would be sent to Foo, the time of that user joining, and a new list of users. As you can see here, when I click on users, it is updated from just Foo to Foo and Bar. Same thing on this side. Foo and Bar are both users or members of this room. And let's say Bar decides to say hi, Foo replies back, and every time the send button is pressed, a message event is sent to the server. The server reads it, checks the JSON payload, sees it's a message sent type, and it takes the content, which would be the message sent between the clients, and sends it to the clients in that room. So when Foo types in hi, that hi is put in a JSON payload, server checks it, sees the content, and sends that content back to the other clients, so Bar. Let's say Bar, he grew tired of Foo and he wants to leave, he doesn't want to talk anymore, so he closes out. Well, Bar is gone, and why? Well, when Bar disconnects, a JSON payload is sent to the server saying room disconnect. So the server removes the user who disconnected from the room, and then sends to the other users that this user has disconnected, and this is the room ID the user disconnected from, here's the time the user disconnected from, and here's a list of users that are now in the room with you. And as you can see here, Foo has received a message, Bar has left the room, just as Bar has left that room.
We hope to accomplish a lot more with this project, which included implementing an Uno game with Pygame that broke some rules to make it even more fun. However, with the lack of experience and timing, we were not able to complete this task. But, despite this setback, we still had fun and hope to do even better for next CodeJam.